Hey everybody, it's your friend Kevin, and I promised you the other day that I would give you a quick, brief difference between tarot cards and oracle cards and when to use them. This is the second time I've attempted to record this video. The last time I went off on a tangent and somehow it wasn't recording, but now we're recording. All right, so really big difference. Tarot follows more of a traditional way of reading cards. Oracle is more free-flowing. The way you can put it into context, think about cooking food. The meal that you're going to cook, pasta, chicken, fish, meat, vegetarian, salad, that's your oracle. The ingredients is your tarot. What you need. What do you need to do it? Is it wise to use both in a reading? Absolutely. How do you do both in a reading? The way I like to do it is if somebody comes for a reading, to get a card reading, they're really not sure what they want to focus on, I might then put the oracle cards out, the ones I've got, and I've got several of them, mostly by Kyle Gray, and let them choose a deck that speaks to them. Now, we might have someone that says, oh, there's a lot of choices, I don't quite know what to choose. Okay, then close your eyes down. I mix the boxes up, mix the different decks up, and then place your hand, if they're in person, on a deck. Also, if I'm doing it remotely, which is how I'm doing this now, if I've got the cards underneath, like for example, let's put this camera on. If I've got a deck here, and then let's see, where's another deck? Oh, I can't imagine. We've got deck here, right? We've got these decks in front of us, and I've got these things. I might say, close your eyes, right, left, or middle, and they're going to choose one of these decks. I hope that makes sense. So then, can you read the tarot and the oracle in the same reading? In the same session, yes. But to mix them up, for example, if I was doing a Celtic cross spread, to put card number 5 being an oracle and card number 8 being a tarot, that is a little weird. It's a bit like knitting with 2 needles, but then halfway through you decide you're going to crochet. It could work, but it's going to be somewhat tricky, and I feel like when you're working with intuition, when you're working with your intuition, your soul nature, that's confusing. And when you get confusing, the ego kicks in. Remember, I said the ego is about fear, and the ego wants to win no matter what. So if you are trying on this thing that's new, and you're sort of getting used to tarot and oracle and which way to go, and getting over the idea that perhaps you don't know what you're doing and you feel a little insecure, the ego is going to jump right on in there, and they're going to keep yapping in your ear. You don't know what you're doing, you're an idiot, you're this, you're that, you're stupid, you're lally 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 lally. All that stuff is going to be going on. And for that reason, you've got someone in front of you looking for you to give your own intuitive interpretation of the cards, and you've got this ego yapping in your head that won't shut up. So I hope that makes sense to you. The other part to whether you should become a tarot reader and oracle reader, that's personal. Every single individual who's on the planet is intuitive. We come in here with intuition. We're born with intuition. Easiest way to explain it, when you come to the world instinctively, intuitively, same thing. The word in is present in all of that. The nurse, the midwife, whoever delivers your child, immediately, wherever possible, places that child skin to skin. Intuitively, this baby that was in gestation now understands, this is my mum. She doesn't tell him, her, the child, I'm called mum, I'm called this, I'm that. There's an intuitive way of knowing. When the child is a little insecure and doesn't know where mum is, all the mother has to do is hush, 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 and rock the baby, and oh, we're all good to go now. That is intuition. That's the intuitive way of knowing, oh, okay. Now, we can use the mother-child analogy and go on more with intuition. Those of you who have been parents, who have been mothers, know the connection between you and the umbilical cord never breaks. It's always there. The gut feeling, the intuitive feeling, that's connecting you. Now, fathers, family members, other people can develop that connection with other people over time. There's that knowing. Now, how does that work? Intuitively, have you ever met a complete stranger and think you've known them your whole life? That this person popped into your life when you were 28, 40, 56, and they feel as if they are so familiar, they can finish your sentences, they can this, they can that, they can do the other thing. Those people you've known in other lifetimes. No word of a lie. They're so familiar you would trust them with anything. It's all good to go. This is in a way how intuition, precognitive, all of those skills that you already have underneath the ego is being uncovered. So for those of you now in the modern world, myself included, if you're finding that you are drawn more to intuition, more to skills, whether it's card reading, crystals, any of those things, I am an all-in person. When this lockdown nonsense happened, and I call it no sense, makes no sense. Yes, there was a pandemic. Yes, there was a virus, I believe. And yet there were people that didn't believe it. There were people that were like, no. Anyway, when all that happened, to me, that was madness. That frothy nonsense about stay home, lock yourself in, what have you. I briefly took to day drinking and cigarette smoking. That lasted maybe an afternoon. And I'm like, well, this is not working. Let me go dig into something else. And my mind then dug into the YouTube world. It's how I found an angel course. It's how I sort of did a writing course. It's how I wrote a book. It's how I did all sorts of things that I was just sifting and sorting and shifting and shaping. I'm getting to the point. Landing on card reading. Took the card reading course. Was surprised at how simple it was. How easy it was. Or I now had space in my life to fit it in. I now had space where I was going to use this and do this because I wasn't running off to teach yoga or running off to do hair or running here, there and everywhere. Spirit said, you've got time to learn this. What's beautiful about it is I already had intuition. I was already speaking to spirits and doing that side of the work. I had already been doing that. So I just needed to get the tool, like an artist uses ink, or they use a crayon, or they use paint. Now, what should you be drawn to, tarot or oracle? One is more free-flowing, oracle. One is more all about somewhat the author. I would say most folks are drawn towards oracle before they're drawn into tarot. Tarot takes a traditional pattern of reading, spreads versus the suits. In the early days, we had the most traditional, what they call Rider-Waite. Incidentally, this deck and these cards, this box was gifted to me by the sister of Denson, who is now one of my guides in spirit. And these are his tarot cards that he used. Rider-Waite. This, oddly enough, is the very first business card I had when I met him. He kept the card, and the other psychic he worked with was Mary Green, and she is also now in spirit. Mary Green was a psychic counselor and lecturer in Georgia. Anyway, the Rider-Waite deck was one of the first, most widely used. This is published by a company called US Games, but Arthur Waite was the, I guess you could call him the mastermind behind this tarot deck. Oops, let me try and get them out. And of course you see they were designed by Pamela Coleman Smith under the direction of Arthur Edward Waite. The challenge is that Pamela Coleman Smith wasn't given anywhere near the recognition she should have been given. Where did the Rider part come from? That was the publishing house that published them. Right, so fast forward for me, there was several decks that came up, probably towards more like the 30s and the 40s when people were getting more into it. And this is a deck that I initially used when I went out doing Spiritual Sundays with my good friend, amazing psychic Jessica Peach, who, quite truthfully, we laugh about it now, said when I was doing a tarot reading for her, incidentally, that she teaches tarot classes, she said, "You really don't know what you're doing, do you?" I had to say, no, I really don't. But they were pretty. But look, they're kind of big. But here are some more of those images, which I think I was drawn to the color of the images and the numbers and all of these. Now, I sometimes read these for myself. They're a little bit too traditional. And then, of course, fast forward to right now, and we have the ones that I like using, and they would be Radleigh Valentine's creation. Now, there are lots of others. When I took the Hay House card reading course, when did I do that? Before the holidays. There were like 12 teachers, and all of them have decks, and they are all beautiful, beautiful, beautiful decks. But so these are the Radleigh Valentine's Guardian Angel Messages Tarot, and then we can go on all kinds of journeys with his. Let's see, here's some other one. We've got the Fairy Tarot, and we've got the Angel Tarot cards, right? And if I go even further, I've got some more. Oh, sliding across the floor, sorry. The Oracle decks I started with, the very first one I bought, other than the two I showed you that I've had a while, Kyle Gray's Oracle, Angel Guide Oracle deck. And then came along, I like these. I want to know more about Keepers of the Light, because he has this mega deck that he makes with the archangels, and that comes from Keepers of the Light as well as Angel Prayers. So I got those two. And then if that wasn't enough, I was like, I want to take a deeper dive in this. He has a lovely deck called Angels and Ancestors Oracle, which is really guardian angels, ascended masters, and the ancestors, along with symbolism. There's that. So this deck has 55 cards, whereas this deck has 44, this deck has 44, this deck has 44. Radleigh Valentine's Tarot, they have the traditional 78 cards in the deck. The latest from Kyle Gray is this one, another Oracle deck, Gateway of Light Oracle. That takes you on a journey into different realms. It takes you on a journey into Atlantis, Lemurian, and opens up the more fantasy world of beings. When you do some of the chakra balancing, you can go to the Stellar Gateway, and from the Stellar Gateway you have the Gateway of Light. I could go on and on and on about these things. So the whole point I'm making by saying all this and telling you all this, they're like storybooks. As you begin to dig in, and you should, if you're on this and you're interested more in learning more about tarot, and incidentally, I don't know that these tools are all that expensive. The average tarot card deck or Oracle card deck, if you go to Hay House or Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever the author suggests you buy them from. And let's face it, let's support the folks who created them. If they're suggesting you go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble or any other publishing house, somehow they're getting commission from it, which you should, because they need to earn their keep. Choose a card that you're drawn to. Choose a card that speaks to you, and know that that's being intuitively guided. All right, so now let's get to our card of the day. Let's go over to the other camera. And then write in the comments if I haven't covered it enough, or you want to know more, let me know, and we can talk about this some more. Father in Sky, Mother in the Earth, Angel. No, that was me. I'm not pulling all these cards out. That's me being a messy shuffler. Thank you for revealing to us what we need to know through these cards. I set the intention that whatever is revealed by you through these cards be for the highest good of everybody today. So it is, so shall it be. All right, let's go into... Whoop, that one fell out. Let's put you back in. Now, there are jumper cards that jump when you shuffle, and there are ones that come that slide out. And these are... What I like about these cards, they've got a slip to them, so they're easy to handle. All right, here we go. Oh, this is a major. So your word of the day comes from the wise counselor. How interesting is this? Hang on 1 second. Let me look. Oh, this is the cover. Look. Of this box. Okay, so this to me is like, this is really important. For the author to choose the image that goes on the cover. Belonging, learning, traditions. So what is this saying? The wise counselor comes to say, you are on the precipice of learning something new. You are on the precipice of following traditions and putting your own mark on it. Feel like you are belonging to this world of tarot, of intuition, of following your own personal, I guess, journey, if you will. But let's read what the wise counselor has to say. Let's see. Angel message. We love being a spiritual bridge between you and the divine. If you are feeling disconnected, ask us to help you back to your source. Additional meanings of this card is educational and religious institutions, seeking guidance from spiritual leaders, taking or teaching classes, and the need to be more flexible, discovering what really matters to you in life. I love this. It goes right into care about your feelings. Whatever you go do today, care about how you feel about stuff. What does your inner being know about it? What does your inner being feel about it? What does your inner being want you to know about it? All right, my friends, until next time, lots of love. Take it easy. Bye.